Hello ladies and gentlemen, Luthau here, and today we'll be talking about the Skulls event that ended on June the 10th. To give my feedback and overview, if you like, on the event, so let's get started. Firstly, in my opinion, events in games that only last for a period of time should be fun and accessible to all players, making it be a good time sink but always reward players for time and money for wanting to take part. Now sadly, this event doesn't reward players time nor money, nor drive players to wanting to spend more time on this event, especially money. This is why there should always be a system in place to keep things fair and to keep players wanting to come back for more and wanting to also complete the event, i.e. getting all the exclusive items that you can obtain or getting all the cosmetic items you can obtain. Because one, they enjoyed the event, and two, because they want to support the developers. With the event, they simply missed the mark, as instead of it being fun, it felt like more of a chore, and sometimes not rewarding enough for wanting you to continue to take part. Example being, I spent 2 days trying to grind for the exclusive jewellery, and eventually got 2, but they were both remarkable, and I just end up not even bothering with the event after that. Of course, I did spend some chests to open to want to show my support for the developers. After seeing what the chests gave, I kind of stopped throwing money at it, as I knew I was not going to get the cosmetic item, or I wasn't going to get all the cosmetic items, so there was just no point in continuing because of how unfair the system is. So let's go over what this event added, and then we'll go over the good and the bad about what was included in this event. What did the Skulls event add? They add bloodthirsty mobs to hunt, dye system, the first cosmetic helms in the game, bloodthirsty chests, aka loot chests that contain 3 random items, exclusive jewelry loot with unique stats. And that's it. We'll talk about each separately so we can talk in depth about each new edition. First up, bloodthirsty mobs. Now this is common practice in MMOs, have a limited time mob for an event that gives exclusive wars tied to the event. Cool, awesome. Well, here's the problem with these mobs. After playing the event and figuring out how they spawn, basically for some reason developers set a few spawn points to where they have a chance to spawn as bloodthirsty. For example, wolves, out of 4 spawn points, 1 of the spawn points after killing a wolf had a chance to spawn as a bloodthirsty wolf. It didn't matter if you killed the other 3 wolves because they would never spawn as bloodthirsty, only that 1 spawn point in that area did. This was a bad design, and what made it worse was the spawn rates were very low. My question is, why is an event that is only available for a limited time having such low spawn rates causes players to crowd areas, having to camp and wait for the bloodthirsty to spawn because all they want is the exclusive items, which means not everyone's going to get a chance to get the items, which also leads to frustration. Every player has a set goal when it comes to an event, either them being a completionist so that they get all the exclusive items that they can get, and then they are done, leaving players who haven't done the event to stick around and do them. And then you got players that will just stick around and do the duration of the event. How to fix this? Easy. Set every mob spawn to have a healthy spawn rate to spawn as a bloodthirsty version on kill. Not only setting like 1 or 2 spawn points to spawn a bloodthirsty version, or you are just going to cause crowding and frustration because players are having to wait for 1 to spawn. If you just set every spawn point to have a chance to spawn a bloodthirsty version, it solves this problem. Dye system. It's cool we get to customize the characters a bit more by using dyes, but the way it's been done is not the greatest. Why was the dye made to be set to certain pieces of gear, like dye for shoulders, gloves, boots? I don't get why do it like this. I can't do if it's to do with making money, but for players it makes no sense. One, it makes the inventory look messy in my opinion, and it's just a pain because you could be missing out on getting a full colour set for your gear, but missing that like helmet part. Also, these are one-time use, which is awful when you need to have multiple of that same dye piece. Dye systems are good, but it feels like it was done in a greedy way. How to fix it? Make all dyes global and not set to a piece of gear bullshit. Like, I could have 2 red and white dyes for gloves and all I'm missing is the chest piece, so if it was global I wouldn't have to deal with that. I don't get the decision made behind this, as we will be upgrading our gear a lot. while leveling. This problem could be fixed with it being global. If you are questioning how, well, look at it like this. My Warrior Priest has 3 Masterwork black and red dye for the gloves. If this was global, I could then apply it to any piece of gear I want and not be restricted to gloves. To me, this makes more sense. Cosmetic helms. We got our first few cosmetics. Now they look good. What I don't like is that there are realities to these cosmetics, just changing their base colour depending on the reality of it. Some players may like this, but personally I don't, because we have a dye system for that. Also, the Skulls event cosmetic helms and the Marienburg cosmetic helms looks very similar to each other. Only one thing was changed on each helmet or added. I don't understand why they were even in this event. In my opinion, it would be better just to have the Skulls event cosmetic helms in the chest and just leaving the Marienburg cosmetic helms for something else and making them look completely different to what we have now. How to fix it. If you want to keep the reality of cosmetics from mundane to masterwork, change how they look as they progress to masterwork. Like, you could make it, if you wanted to, make mundane look very worn out, missing a few features. Then on its way up to masterwork, it gets additional features. Maybe make certain parts glow to show it's masterwork worthy. In general, I don't want the same helmet with different colours, as again you got the dye system for that. Make it look different as it goes up in rarity, or just keep it to one rarity. Bloodthirsty chests. Now let's talk about the loot chests that you could only get by paying real money for. I have nothing against chest systems like this, as they can be a good way to get rare cosmetic items to either show off or sell. But the problem I do have is when the percentage aren't shown of what are the chances of getting said item, and especially when the drop rates feel so low. I have played games that have chest systems but are very fair. Example being, like in this chest system, you only get 3 items. A fair system would make it so that 2 items are completely random, and then the third item is the highest chance of getting a, let's say, cosmetic helmet of any rarity, or even a high rarity dye. Except with this system, it's completely random, which I heavily dislike and doesn't want me to even spend more money to even try and get a cosmetic helm, because my chances are that slim. How to fix it. Have a fairer system in place, like I said before, the first and the second being random, then the third one being the highest chance of a good item. This will give the players the wow factor of getting something than just burning through, let's say, 20 chests and getting absolutely no cosmetic or any sort of high rarity item. Exclusive event items. I think all players and myself have the same feeling. The drop rates for these sucked and mostly saw remarkable rarity. I would understand the drop rate being low because it's sellable, but these are bound on pickups, so the low drop rate makes no sense whatsoever. Also, my own personal opinion, I think the rarity should be set to level categories. Rough estimate being like remarkable for level 7 to 15, superior for level 16 to 26, exponential for level 27 to 34, exquisite for level 35 to 45, and then masterwork for level 46 to 50. But that's my opinion. How to fix it? Well, you can go multiple ways with this. Either up the drop rate for the exclusive items to keep players motivated to keep grinding and rewarding players' time spent killing, or if you want to keep the drop rate low, then maybe add an event currency and have it so the town crier in the main city can be a vendor where you can trade in these tokens to open chests that guarantee a random rarity jewelry, or do what I said before and set the rarities to certain levels so it's easier to collect all the event items so that players can move on and let new players try and get them, so you're not crowding areas where people are just standing around waiting. Well, that's my overall feedback to this event. In general, the event was pretty bad after I spent like 2 days trying to get one jewelry and having one eventually dropped and it being remarkable. I was pretty much done with the event and decided to just go back to leveling my other characters and my main character, which I guess most players did. Let's hope the developers improve on this and make the next event more enjoyable. I'd say try and make each event unique in their own way, like maybe add a minigame or do something crazy but enjoyable. Yes, you can take my money, but you have to earn it by providing me fun and keep me happy during the event and wanted to log back on to continue with it. If I'm being honest, I would rather you develop on something that's going to be more impactful to a game than waste time on the event that's not going to be as fun as it should be. Anyway, I hope this was all useful in some way. If you have your own opinions, comment down below. You never know, the developers might see it and read it. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.